Dice, a la 1:50 en el primer piso hay una presentación de la vida de los pingüinos. Ahí bajamos a la 1:50.
Hasta abajo.
Mi amor, pero ese es otro, Enrique. Y luego a las 3:45, enfrente de la plaza, hay una sesión de entrenamiento marítimo.
¿La puedo ver, por favor? ¡Ay, se ve!
¿Saben qué? Hay que pararnos allá. Necesitamos un cristal y de allá no hay otro.
Quiere decir que estos eran los que veíamos nosotros allá de abajo.
Sí, es el mismo tanque, le estábamos dando la vuelta, nos estábamos rodeando así.
Ahora estamos arriba.
La tortuga, Leo, la tortuga. La tortugota está nadando. La floja.
Mira, tortuga, acá está otra grandota, ¿ya la vieron?
Ah, acá viene.
Pero aquí viene la mamá más grandota.
Esa es la mamá de las tortugas.
Qué chistoso. Aunque hay una tortuga mucho más grande. ¡Oh!
Entonces tienen que respirar aún las sea turtles. Las sea turtles. Mira, qué hermosura. ¿La grabaste? La estoy grabando.
Las tortugas son reptiles.
Sí.
Y la manta también la he grabado. A ver, traten de aguantar lo que dura la tortuga sin respirar. En cuanto respire, aguantan la respiración. Ahí respiró.
Parece que tardan mucho. También pueden tardar mucho.
Oh my God! Arthur, the stingray. Arthur, look at Arthur, shark. Look at you in the shark. Yeah, there's a shark.
Ya no aguanté. Tampoco. Y ella ya se va a ir a estacionar allá abajo otra vez. ¿No pusiste un buen rato abajo? Pues sí, es lo que dice mi papá. ¿Los colores cuáles?
El color es puede respirar como una hora.
Mira, ya volvió a sacar la boca.
¿Sabes por qué?
¿Por qué?
Porque no les pagan.
Pobrecitos. Ay, pues... ¿sí? Ah, y para que los agarren, ¿verdad? Para que jueguen, se dan a conocer y luego se los traen a pagarles.
Pero lo malo que el Chávez no los deja. No, el presidente de Cuba, ¿cómo se llama?
Castro. Mira, Leo, la muchacha, Leo. Allá una muchacha, mira, se metió al agua.
Nadie se le acerca, ningún pez se le acerca.
¿Ya la viste, Leo?
Ningún pez se les acerca, les ha de dar comida mala.
Ya la vi.
Hello everyone, can everybody hear me okay? I'm on the platform over here. My name is Emily, I'm part of our education department. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the animals that are in our giant ocean tank, and I'll answer any questions that anybody has. One request I do want to make is that you try to keep the conversation to a minimum. The ceiling is where we get the water from. Now, being a Caribbean reef, the water is a lot warmer in the Caribbean than it is around New England for sure. So we do warm the water up to around 75 degrees before we put it into this tank. We have 3 different types of animals in this exhibit. We have bony fish, which are most of the fish that you see in here. Pretty much any fish you see most likely is a bony fish. We have these long skinny ones on the surface, are called needlefish. Those guys do always stay at the surface, and a few minutes ago they kind of made a splashing around here. They get scared pretty easily, so if you see them splashing around, nothing's really happening. We also have 2 barracuda in this tank. I saw one just went to my left a few minutes ago. We have an adult and a juvenile barracuda. And actually I think there's one, nope, it must have went back there. The way you can tell the barracuda from other fish, oh, there's one to my right here. You see they're a really dark gray color, really dark silver, and on their back they have those really iridescent spots. So that's how you can tell them from above. But if you have a chance, I recommend you go down to the first level of windows at the bottom of the stairs over here. Just look in the windows and take a look at the barracuda. They have very impressive teeth. They have really sharp teeth. That's pretty much what they're known for. So take a look at those if you get a chance. For those of you to my left, if you look straight down, you see a really big fat fish sitting right by the window. That's called a balloon fish, also known as a puffer fish. We have two of those. There's a larger one, that's the larger one. She's a female. We have a smaller one too, that's a male. And those are the ones that when they get bigger, they pop up really big. They have spines that protect them as well. So if a predator, like a shark or a really big fish, comes along, it usually winds itself up within the coral over there. Speaking of the coral itself, which I didn't mention earlier, this is a really big down there. That's what she does pretty much all day. She's a nocturnal shark, so that means that she is more active at night. So during the day, she likes to just chill out on the bottom, just kind of hang out down there. You see our divers are getting ready to enter the tank right now. This is the cleaning dive I was talking about. With the approximately 800 animals that we do have in this tank, cleaning it is pretty much a continuous process. They are in the tank once every day to clean. They're in the tank actually 5 times every day, but 4 of those dives are feeding dives. This is going to be a cleaning dive. Looks like they're going to maybe scrub the windows, maybe the coral as well. And as I said before, the coral is artificial, so they can scrub it, they can do whatever they want to it without worrying about harming it. So the divers are, they're going to go in now. They do feeding dives. There's 4 dives every day. Each dive targets a different group of animals. And because we do have 4 feeding dives every day, it is pretty rare for any of the animals to ever eat the other animals in this tank. Each dive targets a different group of animals. One dive in the morning, they'll feed Myrtle, who I'll get to in a second, who's below my platform here. So they'll feed the turtles in one dive, and the eels and sharks in another, and all have in this tank.
Turtle.
I heard someone say something. Sea turtles? Is that what you guys were going to say? So we do have 5 sea turtles in this tank. Right under my platform is Myrtle. Myrtle is probably our most famous animal that we have at the aquarium. She's a green sea turtle. She's been here since we opened back in 1969. She's, for those of you to my left and right, you can look down, she's laying on the bottom down there. She's probably just resting, maybe taking a nap. These sea turtles can hold their breath for up to 3 hours if they're sleeping, so she could be down there for quite a while, but most likely she'll be up hopefully pretty soon so you can get a good look at her. We have 2 other species of sea turtles. To my left, the small one swimming clockwise is a Kemp's Ridley sea turtle. That is Scoot. Scoot gets her name. If you look on the back of a sea turtle shell, they kind of have an individual pattern or different shapes on their shell. Those individual sections are called scoots, and that's where Scoot gets her name from. Directly across from me is Retread. Retread is a loggerhead sea turtle, so that rounds out our 3 species. We have the green sea turtle, the loggerheads, and the Kemp's Ridley. Now Myrtle, sleeping down there still, was actually a gift to us from another aquarium. So when we first opened back in 1969, before that Myrtle was at the Provincetown Aquarium, and now she's here. So that's how we do know her approximate age, and her approximate age is around 65 to 70 years old. So she is pretty old. If a lot of you adults were here when you were little, 7 heads of romaine lettuce every day, which is what she's going to get right now. Sometimes she gets some sea lettuce, sometimes some cabbage and red peppers too. Does anybody? Celery, cucumbers. Her favorite thing is actually Brussels sprouts. She doesn't get them too often so that she won't get bored, but once in a while she gets them as a treat. Now the other 2 species of turtles we have are actually not vegetarians, they are carnivores. They eat a lot of fish and some squid sometimes. And the way they feed the animals is actually really interesting. Myrtle, that's her platform. If anybody's in the platform, she pretty much knows it's time to eat, so she just goes over there. But we have an interesting thing with our loggerhead sea turtles. One of our loggerheads, Retread, I don't see her now, it's not this one but the other one, is actually about 90% blind. So she can't really see too much. So if you see her swimming around kind of bumping into things, she's okay, she just can't see that well. She eats a lot of fish and squid, as I said, and what the divers do is they do something called target feeding. Now the Kemp's turtles, the smaller ones, Scoot and the other one is probably sleeping down there somewhere. The way they know it's time for them to eat is when the divers carry in these red and white striped buckets. They're full of food, the divers go in, and as soon as the turtles see that, they know it's time to eat. So they kind of follow the divers to a certain spot. They know that's where they eat, and they just go with the divers to that spot. And I think the loggerheads know how to eat is they hear that shaker, and they go to a certain spot in the tank, and that's when they know it's their turn to eat.
¿A qué cosa? ¿A qué le habla?
No sé cuál animal.
Yo creo que las otras tortugas rojas también.
That was the signal. The reason Sherry was banging the sticks together is because when the divers are in this tank, if there's ever an emergency or problem, you can't just yell into the tank. So they bang those sticks together, the divers hear it, they know to come right back to the platform. So now I'll take any questions that anybody has. I do ask, once again, that you keep the conversation to a minimum just so I can hear the questions. Right here? What's your question?
Le está hablando a la otra muchacha.
Are turtles mammals? That's a very good question. Turtles are actually reptiles, like lizards, crocodiles, snakes, turtles you might have in your backyard. They are reptiles.
Now, what you see here in the exhibit is actually
Pero no agarran cristal, pues es que le... Bueno, ahí sí ve.
a lot of people get confused when they think of penguins being snow or ice. But these guys, they're very special. They're known to be the temperate penguins. And temperate just means that they do not require snow or ice. They just need the cold water and the sand. Honestly, that as much as we can. But that's basically it about the rock hopper penguin. Now, moving to a similar juvenile. And what you can do around here for a day, you don't know. And what he will do is if you... Oh, it's not up there. But you'll see Dyer. He's hanging around and he looks all scruffy and scruffy. He's a very
Hoy aquellos.
and it's really still in the show. But when he does his first birthday, sometimes it leads to 1.5 years old. He will mold out those juvenile feathers and grow his white belly and black band.
Pónganse acá en la luz, porque esto no tiene mucha luz.
Lidia, esta es la teoría de los origen de la vida. Ahí está.
Leo, Leo.
Como la teoría de que la vida tuvo
¿Y el Leo?
Look, it's broken. Come on, this way.
Ah, ya lo.
Look, there's another one over here.
A ver, pónganse aquí.
¿Hay vídeo?
¿Ah?
Que si hay vídeo.
¿Ya vieron la teoría del origen de la vida? Lo que ves.
Más que sube el clima y así.
No,
Sí, eso de ahí sí.
Si no se cae.
Mira, ven porque esta es la teoría del origen de la vida. Ah, aquí está.